All right, guys, it looks like Capcom is ready to get back at it when it comes to some of their biggest franchises that they haven't been putting out games for recently. Now, we all know that Capcom is goated when it comes to certain franchises, man. They've got a plethora of games, of different titles that they can unleash, from Mega Man, Devil May Cry. They have all sorts of stuff, and it looks like they're trying to get back to that after kind of going the Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter route for the past number of years. They're looking to get back into the well when it comes to Ace Attorney and more. So let's go ahead and jump into what they had to say at a recent investor meeting, and I'm going to let you guys know exactly what you can expect from Capcom probably starting in 2026 when it comes to revival. So this is exciting. So here's what they had to say recently. Capcom owns a wealth of globally popular brands such as Mega Man, Devil May Cry, and Ace Attorney. We aim to expand our user base and improve our performance through new releases, remakes, and ports of titles in these series to new hardware. By enhancing brand power and cultivating loyal fan bases, we will grow these into core IPs. So if they're grown into core IPs, that means we actually get regular games in these series. We know that Resident Evil is one. We know that Monster Hunter is one. Capcom loves those two. Street Fighter as well. You'll see Street Fighter titles pretty regularly overall, but they have a lot of content for Street Fighter games. But once again, like they stated, what about the other stuff? What about Devil May Cry? What about Ace Attorney? What about Mega Man? Some of these games pretty much have only gotten the remake or re-release treatment, while some of them, like Devil May Cry, we haven't seen anything since 2018 with Devil May Cry 5 and then the re-release of the special edition. So let's go ahead and first start off with Devil May Cry. I think that it's going to be very important to acclimate the Japanese and Nintendo Switch audience to this franchise. For some reason, we got Devil May Cry 1 through 3, which was great. Well, 2's not that great, but 1 and 3 are great. But we didn't get Devil May Cry 4 on the Nintendo Switch 1. I'm thinking that we could get a 4 and 5 double pack with all the DLC, all the extra content on not only just Switch 2, but in addition to maybe PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. Maybe they do another special edition or triple packing like they've done before in the past with the first 3 games. So we could see that when it comes to Devil May Cry, in addition to a brand new reveal, because once again, it's been a while. Their lead combat developer did leave to make Final Fantasy 16, so we'll see what they do there, but I'm pretty sure they've got somebody else that can take up the mantle and get us a new Devil May Cry game within the next couple of years. I would expect that to be something to be revealed, because Devil May Cry 5 actually sold incredibly well, 10 million units plus if I'm not correct overall. So I would expect Devil May Cry to be a franchise that we see more sooner than later, maybe with some remasters, re-releases coming up, and then of course a big new Devil May Cry 6 game in the next number of years. All right, let's talk about Mega Man, the Blue Bomber. Everybody wants to know what's happening with Mega Man, and I think here's what's going to happen overall. Mega Man X. We need to see the Mega Man X series come back. There's been some hints and rumors and some things here and there. They've been re-releasing different collections that have all done well. The Mega Man Star Force collections, they're releasing all sorts of Mega Man Battle Network. All these things have done incredibly well for Capcom considering their re-releases overall. Even like with the Mega Man Battle Network, that did like 1 million units plus for some old GBA games, probably with a small development team. So that was really good for Capcom. I expect them to release more remakes, remasters, re-releases, collections of old Mega Man games when they can, but we definitely need to see something when it comes to the Mega Man X series in terms of a brand new game. And also Mega Man Legends. People are still waiting for them to bring back Mega Man Legends. Bring that back and maybe even a new game. I think they should do a 1-2 punch. It doesn't have to be super triple A or anything. It can be a double A game made by a small, passionate team of developers. You put that out there with good enough graphics, I think people will eat that stuff up. So Mega Man X in addition to Mega Man Legends. Let us get a new Mega Man X game and say, here you go for Mega Man X, or the traditional platforming action fans that love Mega Man. Then give us Mega Man Legends for those RPG action adventure fans out there too. If you do a 1-2 punch, double A style out there, all platforms, that will be successful. That is a way forward to get Capcom back into the mix when it comes to Mega Man and to acclimate new fans in addition to old fans to come back to Mega Man overall. Mega Man's never been the biggest selling franchise, but before in the past it used to be consistent overall. They'd reuse assets and put out games and people enjoyed them for what they were. Get back to that, Capcom. I think it'll work when it comes to Mega Man. Once again, get a small, passionate team that can make good decisions on a Mega Man game. And if you do a dual strategy of Mega Man Legends and Mega Man X, I think that is the path going forward for Mega Man to get back into more relevancy and get more sales of both of the games. So let's get into Ace Attorney. I'm not the biggest Ace Attorney fan out there, but they've been doing a good job with re-releases of Ace Attorney games. I'd expect a brand new Ace Attorney game to be announced within the next year or so. Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 1, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever the case is. But we know that it's probably going to be Nintendo because that's where Ace Attorney sells a lot and the best. And if you can get it on Nintendo Switch 1, then of course the hype of the platform of the Nintendo Switch 2, if there's an announcement next year, that would be huge. We got Professor Layton coming out, and I know that Capcom kind of looks at that franchise and say, okay, what can we do when it comes to that? Even though they're kind of different, but they're similar. I think that there's crossover between those fans. So Professor Layton, that's going to be coming out from level 5. I think that Ace Attorney can do just as good, if not better, if they have Switch and Switch 2 with a brand new game. The dialogue in those games are great. The stories are really good. The writing is fantastic. So if they put a bit more production into it, get it out on Switch 1 and Switch 2, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, I think that is also a winning formula for Ace Attorney to once again get back at it. And they haven't been doing a terrible job of bringing back Ace Attorney games, but we now need something new when it comes to the Ace Attorney franchise overall. So those are my thoughts when it comes to what they can do with those franchises. And Capcom has a bunch of other ones, but you kind of have to start from there and then work your way up. They did do some Power Stone stuff as well, so that kind of came back. So I do think that there's time and there's opportunity when it comes to a lot of stuff from Capcom. People have talked about Breath of Fire. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. So I do think that start with those three. Let's see what you got. Kind of follow what I said there, and I think that it will be good for all of them. But what do you guys think about what Capcom could potentially do to bring back some of these franchises? Or are there any other franchises that Capcom has that you feel should come back and make its way back to the public out there? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, before we move on to the next topic, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next thing here. And we're going to be talking about a brand new Tomb Raider game that will be announced at this week's TGAs. If you're watching this on the week of the 7th, it's going to be the 11th that the TGAs are going. And this is the reason why we watch the TGAs, man. We watch the TGAs not because Jeff Keighley is going to put on this incredible show that's going to be nicely paced, that's going to have all these crazy announcements, that's going to be completely fair to all the developers in the games. That's not the reason why. We watch it because there's going to be some type of reveal, maybe at some point, that might blow your mind. I mean, it might not happen because a lot of times with the TGAs, it doesn't. But seeing a new Tomb Raider game, that is a pretty cool announcement to see. We just got the Tomb Raider game on the Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2. People have been wondering when the next big Tomb Raider game is going to come after the collapse from Square Enix selling it off and then the issues that they've had there with the Embracer and stuff. But it does look like Tomb Raider is going to be back and bigger than ever. So according to the official Game Awards account, they announced that the long-awaited new entry in the Tomb Raider series will be revealed at this event. Now, the last mainline entry to the Tomb Raider games was Shadow of the Tomb Raider back in 2018. So very similar to Devil May Cry, it has been a lot of years. We're going on 7 years or so when it comes to no new Tomb Raider games after getting pretty much them back to back to back. Between Tomb Raider 2013, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, all kind of together in a pretty good amount of time. And then all of a sudden Square Enix said, no mas, we don't want it. It's not selling enough to our expectations. And then they shipped it off. And then it's just kind of been in limbo since then. But finally, we've got something. I've been playing the Tomb Raider 2013 game. That is the Xbox 360 title put on the Nintendo Switch 1. And while yes, they could have used, or more like it would have been better graphically if they used the PlayStation 4 re-release of the game, it still runs really good and still the same game when it comes down to that. So if you haven't played it, check it out. It's only 20 bucks on the Nintendo Switch 2 if you want that. There's a cut down 30 frames per second version on the Nintendo Switch 1, but if you've got a Nintendo Switch 2, or even if you got a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, it plays okay on there. The frame rate isn't perfect, but it's there if you want to play it, and it does look better than the Nintendo Switch 2 version, so you can do that. But if you want to play it at a solid locked-in frame rate and of course good resolution, Switch 2 version isn't terrible. Just graphically, it's the Switch 1 version, but just running much better. So overall, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm not the biggest Tomb Raider fan out there, but I have played the games, and I do like some of the newer games. They did the remastered collections on the Switch and Xbox, PlayStation, and those were great as well. So we'll see what they do with this one. But either way, I'm excited to see Tomb Raider come back. It's a franchise that's been classic and synonymous with some of the best in gaming for many people out there. Maybe not for me, but for other people, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have for us when it comes to Tomb Raider. So what do you guys think about Tomb Raider being revealed at the Game Awards? I will be live reacting to the full show. We're going to have a complete pre-show beforehand, probably like an hour or two before the show starts. We're going to be doing all that, so stay locked in, guys. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. You're going to want to come and check out our live streams that we have here. When it comes to the TGAs, they're always legendary. We laugh and have so much fun, so I'd love to have you guys come through. For those who watch the videos, come through and check out the live stream on Thursday, December 11th. So what do you guys think about Tomb Raider being at the show? Let me know in the comment section below. But now we're going to move on to the next thing here, and we're going to be talking about Mr. Harada from Bandai Namco fame and Tekken fame. He's been with the company for 30 years, and he has announced that he will be leaving Bandai Namco, which is very unfortunate, but at the same time, I would say for him and what he's went through, because on Twitter, he explained that after seeing so many close and personal friends either pass away or retire, it's got him reflecting on his time left as a creator and what he should do. I think maybe, I can't speak for him, but I think what he's feeling after seeing so much of the loss and heartbreak and pain that comes with losing people, I think he's thinking that he can do something different. He can do something that makes him feel, I would say, a certain type of way, makes him and his seniors and the people that came before him, his predecessors, happy. And he feels like you never know when it's going to be your time, right? So should I just keep doing the same thing over and over and over? Or should I try something different? And I think that when he's at Bandai Namco, you're pretty much kind of just doing that. You're going to be making Tekken, you're going to be making the same stuff over and over. Or should I try something different while I'm still in my 50s or so? Maybe I have another 10 years left of making games or 15 years left of making games. What should I do with the time that I have left? Because he's reflecting on some of the other people who didn't get that same amount of time that maybe he has at this point. So I think maybe that's what he's thinking. I can't say for sure, and I don't want to speak for him. That's just kind of what I feel and what I got from reading his post. So he's not going to be out of the gaming industry, guys. He is still going to be in it. He will let us know what he's going to do when he's ready and when the time comes. So, you know, shout outs to Mr. Harada. He's done a great job. I remember playing Tekken back in the day. When I first saw Tekken in the arcades, I thought it looked incredible. But to me, where it blew me away and what Bandai Namco did back then with Tekken was when they actually had it on the PlayStation 1 and it was Tekken 3. When I saw Tekken 3, I was like, goodness gracious, this is the best looking fighting game. This is the best that I've ever seen it. And it seemed so fun, and there was a lot of characters, and it was fluid, and there was different type of fighting styles. Tekken 3 to me just took the bar to a whole new level when it came to 3D fighting games, and he was part of that. 30 years at a company, so he's done a lot of great stuff. He was part of the reason why Pokken is a thing as well, and I love Pokken Tournament. It's one of my favorite fighting games. So for me, this guy has done so much great stuff for Bandai Namco over the decades he's been there, and I wish him the best of luck at whatever he does next, because he's been incredible at his job. And of course, they had Super Smash Bros. Kaiusa in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Bandai Namco and Mr. Harada was involved with that with Masahiro Sakurai and Nintendo. So he's done so much good stuff. He's awesome. I wish you the best of luck, and I can't wait to see what he does next. All right, I'm moving on to the final topic here. We're going to get into the System Shock remake. I know there's a lot of people that are looking forward to System Shock remake on the Nintendo Switch 1 and of course Switch 2, and it is coming on December 18th. So the Nintendo Switch 2 and Switch 1 versions of the 2023 released System Shock remake will launch on December 18th, developer Night Dive Studios has announced. Now, the remake first launched for the PC via Steam, Epic Games Store, and GOG on May 30th, 2023, followed by the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on May 21st, 2024. Quote, with how the Switch port of System Shock is shaping up, running very smoothly and looking quite good, it could be considered an impossible port in the same way that Doom 2016, Wolfenstein, and The Witcher 3 are considered impossible ports on the Switch 1, said Night Dive studio producer Justin Kahn in a press release. We think fans will be very pleased with the performance and platform-specific functionality we've delivered with these System Shock ports for Nintendo's consoles. Khan added that Night Dive's goal was to deliver a System Shock port that sits alongside technical feats like Doom 2016 and The Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch. To achieve that, we retained deferred rendering to keep our dynamic lighting intact, which is a massive challenge on this hardware. We are incredibly proud of the result and hope the fans feel we've earned a spot amongst those impossible ports. So if there's one way to kind of rally the Nintendo Switch troops, is bring up the impossible ports and the effort that you put in compared to some of the stuff that maybe wasn't so great that you can look at on the Nintendo Switch 1 from third party and say, well, no, our stuff is like this with these other great impossible ports, and that's going to be cool to see. But I want to see what the differences are between the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. Did they do the whole game on Switch 1 then just port the Switch 1 over to Switch 2? I mean, that could be a possibility. Or did they actually take the time to get more effects and more things and more stuff on the Switch 2 version graphically that you couldn't do on the Nintendo Switch 1 outside of textures and resolution or HDR or whatever the case is? So we'll see what they do with that. Now, I'm not a big System Shock first-person shooter guy, but apparently this is the precursor to BioShock. So if you're into BioShock, or if you like that, maybe this might be a good opportunity for you to check out the System Shock remake on the Nintendo Switch 1 or Switch 2. The BioShock games are on the Nintendo Switch as well, so if you want to get the BioShock trilogy, that is available on the Nintendo Switch 1, so you can kind of go through all of that on the platform, and I'm really looking forward to seeing exactly how good it runs and looks as a full release on the Nintendo Switch 2 coming up here on December 18th. So what do you guys think overall about everything that we discussed here? A lot of great topics from Capcom and more. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.